In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the Nile flowed like a lifeline through the desert, the people revered many gods and goddesses, each embodying forces of nature and aspects of life. Among these deities, none was as beloved and widely worshipped as Bastet, the lioness-headed goddess, who later became known as the goddess of home, fertility, and most famously, cats. The story of Bastet and the sacred cats of Egypt begins in the bustling city of Bubastis, where a grand temple was dedicated to the goddess. The temple, surrounded by lush gardens and the serene waters of the Nile, was a place of beauty and peace. Here cats roamed freely, revered as living symbols of Bastet's grace and protection. Bastet was originally depicted as a fierce lioness, a warrior goddess who protected the pharaohs in battle. But as Egypt entered a period of peace and prosperity, Bastet's image softened. She became associated with the more domestic aspects of life: love, fertility, and the protection of the home. Her fierce lioness form transformed into that of a gentle cat, reflecting the goddess's dual nature: fierce yet nurturing, protective yet loving. Cats in ancient Egypt were not just pets. They were sacred animals, believed to carry the spirit of Bastet within them. The Egyptians admired their grace, independence, and hunting prowess. Cats were protectors of the home, guarding against pests and evil spirits. They were so revered that harming a cat, even accidentally, was considered a grave crime, punishable by death. One of the most famous legends of Bastet tells of a time when the goddess herself took the form of a cat to protect Egypt from the serpent of chaos, Apep. Apep was a monstrous creature, a symbol of darkness and destruction, who sought to plunge the world into eternal night. The gods and goddesses of Egypt had long struggled to keep Apep at bay. But the serpent was cunning and powerful. One night, as Apep prepared to strike, Bastet appeared in her cat form, her eyes glowing with divine power. She prowled silently through the shadows, her movements graceful and precise. As Apep lunged, intending to swallow the sun and bring about eternal darkness, Bastet pounced. Her claws, sharp as obsidian, tore through the serpent's scales, and with a single bite, she severed its head, saving Egypt from the chaos that threatened to engulf it. The Egyptians celebrated this victory with great festivals in Bubastis, where thousands would gather to honor Bastet. They would bring offerings of food, drink, and precious items, and the city would be filled with the sound of music, laughter, and the purring of cats. The Nile would be adorned with boats carrying flowers and candles, creating a river of light that illuminated the night in Bastet's honor. But Bastet's protection extended beyond the realm of gods and mythical creatures. It is said that during a great siege on the city of Pelusium by foreign invaders, the Egyptians used their reverence for cats to their advantage. Knowing that their enemies did not share their sacred view of cats, they released hundreds of cats onto the battlefield. The invaders, terrified of angering Bastet by harming the sacred animals, hesitated in their attack. This moment of pause allowed the Egyptians to rally and ultimately drive the invaders from their land. The legacy of Bastet and her sacred cats continued throughout Egyptian history. Cats were often depicted in art, shown seated at the feet of their owners or alongside images of Bastet herself. Many Egyptians chose to be buried with their beloved cats, believing that Bastet would watch over them in the afterlife. The goddess's temple at Bubastis became one of the most important religious sites in Egypt, attracting pilgrims from all over the ancient world. Even after the fall of ancient Egypt, the reverence for cats persisted. The Greeks and Romans, who admired the Egyptians' wisdom and culture, adopted Bastet into their own pantheon, where she continued to be worshipped as a protector of homes and families. Today, the statues and depictions of Bastet as a cat-headed goddess remind us of the deep bond between the ancient Egyptians and their feline companions. The sacred cats of Egypt were more than just animals. They were living symbols of the goddess's love and protection, a connection between the divine and the earthly that endures in the hearts of those who honor Bastet's legacy.